Thank you so much for joining. I thought I'd do a quick introduction on time value of money. I want to keep this video super simple without unnecessary jargon or complexity. But I noticed that many students and young professionals still slightly misunderstand, and especially its implications for valuation purposes. So yeah, let's get started right away. Let's do the following. Let's say we have a few years. Year 1, year 2, year 3. Let's say you're person A and your friend is called friend A. Yeah, we can do the same with companies and you will see, but just to keep it very simple. If your friend asks for money and you're like, okay, I have $100 left, which I'm happy to lend, and your friend really needs to borrow money because he wants to buy something or do something else, you could give him $100, and in year 3 he would give you $100 back. I assume no one would do that, because why should you give away $100? Yeah, $100 now for receiving $100 in 3 years doesn't make much sense. So even though you know there's a 100% chance that you will receive the money from your friend is not defaulting or is not running away, that is certain. Even though your friend has 100% credibility, you will not accept the deal if you receive $100. You will only accept the deal if you get something in return. So here you would say, okay, based on the time, 3 years, I would like, I don't know, potentially, let's say 120. Yeah, so you would say, if I give you $100 today, I would ask for at least 120 in 3 years, because I do not have access to my $100 over this time period. Yeah, again, here we are not talking about default. We are not talking about your friend is running away. We are not talking about any so-called credit risk or business risk. We are just talking about moving money through time. And here, as you can see, money in year 1, or maybe for this purpose, year 0, today is, from a value perspective, equivalent to $120 in year 3. Yeah. So again, when we talk about the concept time value of money, just because we are moving money through time means money has different value. $100 in year 3 is not the same as $100 today. So you can do the exercise with yourself. You can ask, okay, do you want to have $100 today, or would you like to have $100 in 3 years? The answer will always be, give me $100 now. So you know $100 must be worth more today, must be worth more than $100 in 3 years. Yeah, but what we can see approximately, and this depends on personal preferences as well, that the 100 potentially matches with the 120 in year 3 or year 2, depending on when we start. So there is a kind of interest rate included just by moving money through time. And if we assume interest rate here, interest rate at 10%, you see we have done this, 100, 110, and then you have 121. Yeah, so if you assume at an interest rate of 10% that you move money through time, 100, 110, 121. Yeah, so 121 is equivalent to 100 today, and 110 in year 2 is equivalent to 100 in year 1. Yeah, so the first thing is your interest rate is basically your rate to move money through time. Here we are not talking about risks, we are not talking about whether your friend is credible or not. We are just moving money through time. And if you move money forwards, then we call it compounding. And if you move money backwards, we call it discounting. Yeah. And very easy, if you want to calculate your future value, your 121, you take your $100 times 1 plus 10% equals 121. Yeah, and here I said I want to change this to make it a bit easier. Money today, year 1, year 2. Yeah, so you have 2 periods, period 1, period 2. So you use this formula, and this one is your interest rate, is your compounding factor. Yeah, the formula future value equals cash flow times 1 plus interest rate time general formula. Another formula, if you want to work backwards and you want to calculate your $100 and you have 121 given, then you would basically just reorganize the formula, 1 plus R T, and here in our example 121, that's your cash flow here, divided by 1 plus R to the power of T equals 100. And then here R again is your interest rate, R is your interest rate here as well, but for this specific example, this is your discount factor, and here it's your compound factor. Yeah. Then when we talk about valuation, yes, we have an interest rate, a kind of standard risk-free interest rate. We oftentimes use US government bonds as a starting point because they have low risk, but we need to set a starting point because still, as we said, even if your friend has 100% credibility and you know 100% certain that you will get your money, you still move money through time. So the interest rate first reflects that you move money through time. But then secondly, your interest, and we will come to this in a later video, will also include certain risk factors. Yeah. So when we look at interest rate, move money through time plus risk factor. Yeah, and the risk factor we talk about credit risk, market risk, industry risk. There are certain risk factors. The higher we set this risk factor, the higher your compound or your discount rate will be. Means if you have another friend, friend B, and you know that friend B is always running away with money whenever you give him money, that would mean this transaction for you as person A is way more risky. So you would say, yes, dear friend B, I lend you 100, but because I'm not sure if I will get the money back, you need to give me 180 back instead of 120. Yeah, so the interest rate, the discount or compound factor you would apply would be way higher. Yeah, good. Some other terms just to cover this as well. We can call the interest rate discount rate. We can call it hurdle rate. It's the minimum acceptable rate of return on a transaction on a project. Or this is also your opportunity cost of capital. Yeah. So regardless of how we call it, discount rate, hurdle rate, cost of capital. Later we talk about weighted average cost of capital. It's basically the same, but just for you to give you an idea about what the concept is all about. I will do some additional videos where we dive into detail about what type of risks exist and how do we actually calculate cost of capital for valuation purposes. Thank you so much for joining. Talk to you later. Bye.